Okay. So you guys can see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So in unit number 2, we'll be looking at operators, some calculations, and hopefully by the end of the class, we'll also be looking into form elements in PHP. You will have a quiz assigned to you this week, which will be due by next week, Monday midnight. And you will be getting your very first assignment today as well, which will also be due by next week, Monday midnight. Now, in this unit, we will mostly concentrating on operators. You guys already know the arithmetic operators. Can you look at the PHP arithmetic operators table under unit 2? And let me know which of these operators you have never seen before.
The exponent.
The exponentiation operator. The PHP has an exponentiation operator, Java and C# don't. They do this with the help of a built-in function called, what's the name of the built-in function the Java and C# use for exponentiation?
Is it math.pow?
Yep. Look at the assignment operators next. Is there anything new here?
Yeah, the modulus.
Modulus equals to does exactly the same thing as division equals to, just like it divides x by y and it grabs the value of the remainder and assigns it to an x. That's what it does. But all these operators are even in Java and C#. All 6 of these. How about the next one? PHP comparison operators. Is there anything new here?
The identical and not identical?
Yep. Identical and non-identical operators are not there in Java or C#. So identical operator wants the values to be identical and also their data types to be identical. So if you have 3 integer and you're trying to compare with 3 short, then it will be like, no, they're not the same. They both have to be integers. Similarly, if you're trying to compare a short 3 with long 3 and say, okay, are they not equal to, it will say, yeah, they're not equal to. So that's what it does. How about the next one? Increment decrement operator. Is this anything new or is it like old stuff? It should all be familiar to you, except for the $, the increment by 1 or decrement by 1. So Francisco, all of these are new to you, all the operators that we are seeing right now? You never saw them in Java or C#?
No, it's just the $sign that's in them.
Oh, yeah, the $sign is the requirement of PHP, because in PHP, all the variable names have to start with $sign, right? That's what it is. $sign is part of the variable name. What about the last one, the PHP string operator? What is the equivalent of that in Java or C#?
That's new to me, I think.
Yeah, the operator is new to you, but the concept is old because in Java, you have a concatenation operator that is the plus sign, as Oscar also posted that in the chat. So in Java, if you have a string 1 equals to string 1 plus string 2, since the string 1 is repeated on both sides of equals to, you can do something like this in Java. The equivalent of that would be string 1 period equals to string 2. Okay, so the bottom line is a PHP line, the top line is a Java line or C#. So it's just the same idea, is just like a different operator for that. So the concept is not new. Now, if you were to go into the book, which is right at the top of the units, and we start going into where we were last time. I think we were on page number 40 or 41, something like, yeah, we were on the 40. So in this expression over here, str1 period equals to str2. So the period equals to is the operator. What is str1 and str2? What are they called? Don't tell me that they're strings. Don't tell me that they're variables or objects. There's a more bigger umbrella name. Something that works with an operator is called what? Operand. Very good, Oscar. Okay, so these are called operands, as explained to you at the bottom of page number 40. Page number 41 show you that in PHP you have different data types, and like your different type that you can perform the arithmetic operations with, or you can have different kinds of operators. You can have logical operators, comparison operators, string operators, assignment, arithmetic, array operators, and stuff like that. Arithmetic operators is the first one in the list, which we have already looked at in the book as well as in the Blackboard. So same explanation, very similar explanation: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus. I want you to look at these code snippets on page number 42. And there is one code snippet for each one of the operations. And let me know if you have any questions. Let me know when you guys are done looking at all these examples and if you have any questions. So Tom and Jack are still reviewing it. Oh, Tom is done. Okay. So moving on to the next item here. Which is another code snippet. Again, I would like you to review this and let me know if you have any questions. There is an output right below that as well. Once we are done looking at the examples in the book, then we're going to start doing our own examples. Okay, well, now going to look at the next page. Is there any difference between this statement and this statement, like logical difference between the first two instructions? Again, it's logical difference I'm asking about. Yes, guys, any logical difference between these two instructions, the top two instructions? Yes, no, I don't know. They
Yeah, I think they're the same.
are the same. It doesn't matter what is the sequence, it will have the same impact on the return value. They both are trying to add. Doesn't matter the variable is first or next. And this is something strange about PHP. Look at it. What is the value of X? 2 string, right? What is the value of y? Again, 2 string, 3 string. But when you multiply the 2 strings together, PHP looks at their values, and if the values are numeric, it will just multiply them. And X is a string, Y is string, they will stay string, but dynamically they will be converted to an integer for the purpose of multiplication. The return value's data type will be integer. You're not going to see this happening in Java or C#. This is very specific to PHP. It's weird, but you got to be careful. Okay. Now we talked about increment and decrement operators in the Blackboard. It's the same stuff. I want you to go ahead and look at the table and read the paragraph right below this. And also the leading paragraph on the next page, which talks about the same topic. And again, give me a green check when you guys are done. When you're done with that and you are on the next page, I want you to look at the code snippet at the bottom of the page, which is figure 124, and then match that with its output on the next page. And then the next page also, there is a code snippet and followed by an output. So look at all 4 figures and let me know if you have any questions. These figures are on page 45 and 46. So Jack and Victor are still working on matching the diagrams. Oh, okay. Any questions, Victor or anybody? Okay. Now, guys, I want you to you can work in your existing project if you want, or you want to start a new project. It's up to you. But make sure when you're starting a new PHP project, keep in mind that when you're starting a new job PHP project, for those of you who install the latest version of Eclipse after you give your project name, make sure that in the PHP version, it should say 7.1 because that's our web server. If it says 7.4 and you will create the PHP project, then the later on versions of projects cannot work on previous versions of servers. So that's why it's important for you to make sure that you click on use project specific settings and choose 7.1 if it says 7.4. After you decide on whatever you want to do with your project, I want you to step by step follow this example on page number 47 and page number 48. Okay. And then you run it, and then you let me know when you're done. So I'm stopping. I just stopped sharing, and I'm pausing the recording. And when everybody is done, then we're going to move on to the next topic. Zoom this. Let me share my screen again. Okay. So on page number 48, it also talks about assignment operators. The assignment operators where you are assigning a value to a string operator. And it takes you to the next step where it talks about the compound operator. We just saw that on the blackboard. So compound operators allow you to save you from having to repeat the variable name on both sides of equals to sign. So again, have a look at this table 1-5. We already looked at on the blackboard, but just in case, look at that. And then also look at the coding example followed by its output on page number 50. And give me a green check when you guys are done reviewing pages 49 and the output on page 50. Okay, so we have Robert Reed and Victor left. Okay. Okay. Then on page number 51, you see the same table, which something similar you saw on the blackboard, which is about the comparison operators. Strict equals to, where a strict not equals to are the only two. In PHP, you have a choice of using two types of not equals to. It understands both of them. So that's another thing to learn. And then after that, I want you to read page number 52 and look at the output at the beginning of page 53. Read page 52 and look at the output of the code snippet on page 53. In fact, you know what? Before I ask you to look at the code output, let me explain one thing to you. I don't know if you guys remember this operator from your Java or C# classes. Do you guys remember this operator? The question mark and a colon operator. Yeah, this is called your ternary operator, but it's called conditional operator here. So what you're doing is you have a condition here. If blackjack player 1 is less than or equals to 21, if this condition is true, then the value of result will be equals to player 1 is still in the game. If it is false, then it takes the value after the colon, which is result is equals to player 1 is out of the action. So this is your condition. If the condition is true, it takes the value before the colon. If the condition is false, it takes the value after the colon. So with the help of conditional operators, you can easily eliminate an if condition. You don't have to write an if condition for every little thing out there. You guys remember this? Or if you didn't even remember it, does that make sense to you now?
Yeah, I remember it. Just didn't remember the name for it.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, and go over this page and look at the example output on the next page. And let me know when you're done. So I want you to now work on the example on page number 53 and 54. It starts out from page number 53, and you're going to create a new file within your project. And then, you're going to be working with the code. A lot of this code works with the ternary operator, which is the question mark equals to the conditional operator. Why do we call it a ternary operator? Because this is the only operator that works with 3 values. All other operators either work with 2 values, and they're called binary, or 1 value, which in which case they will be called the unary operators. But this is the only one that works with 3 values. That's what's called the ternary operator. So complete this example, which is on pages 53 and 54. And the output is at the bottom of page 54. Now there's, and then when you're done, you give me a green check. Okay, so I'm going to clear your current green checks. And I'm going to stop sharing for now. And I'll pause the recording as well. Okay, guys, the next topic on page number 55 is the logical operators. The logical operators are also familiar to you, except for XOR. You already know the and the or operators and the not operator. The XOR operator is true if and only one of the left operand or the right operand returns a value of true. Otherwise, if both are true or if both are false, then the whole condition is false. That's the main difference between OR and XOR, because OR is true even when both conditions are true, but XOR is true only if one of the 2 conditions is true. But if both are true, XOR is not true. So here it shows you an example at the bottom of the page that we have a variable gender equals to male and an age equals to 17. And the risk factor is if the gender is male and age is less than or equal to 21, then of course, since both conditions are true and is in between, therefore the risk factor will be true. Similarly, over here, we have another implementation, but this time one of the 2 conditions is false because age is 28, which is not less than or equals to 21. Therefore, it is now false. So the statement containing the logical and operator, which could be written with 2 ampersand as well, it basically is the same thing. Here's an OR operator. The OR operator means at least one of the 2 conditions should be true. So the left condition is speeding tickets greater than 0. So since the left condition is true, the right condition does not really matter. So the risk factor variable in the example is assigned a value of true because the speeding ticket variable expression is true. Even though the other expression is false, it doesn't really matter. Now look at the second variation of OR. Now the speeding ticket is greater than 0, of course. That is true. The other condition is irrelevant. Similarly, the not operator is used for negation purpose. So if we have a variable traffic violations equals to true, if we negate that, then safe driver discount will be false. Okay, now here in this example on page number 57, it is right side steering equals to true. Country is equals to England. So we are checking to see if right side steering equals to true, XOR country equals to England. It will be false because both conditions are true. XOR is only true when only one condition is true. Okay. So followed by that, I want you to now create a new PHP document and work with this example on page number 57, where the output of the example is shared with you on page number 58. And let me know when you guys are done. Okay, guys, now we will move on to the last topic at the bottom of page page number 58. Not last topic for the night, but I'm just saying I'm talking about the last item at the bottom of page number 58, which is about casting or converting from one data type to another. You can convert from one data type to another by casting that value to a respective data type by using the parentheses, and then the value will be converted to that data type. Some examples are starting from page number 59, that even though PHP automatically assigns the data types of a variable, sometimes you want to ensure that the variable is of data type expected by your script. So one way to ensure this is through the process called casting or type casting, where you write the old value and in parentheses, you write the new type, and then you do the assignment operator on the left-hand side of the equals to operator. Here is an example. 55 miles per hour is the value for speed limit miles. Before we convert the value and put it into speed limit kilometers, we want to take the value, we want to cast it to its integer equivalent. So the 55 miles per hour in this one, the space and the MPH will be ignored, and we'll just get 55 out of it, which will then be multiplied by 1.6. So instead of guessing data types, you can also use a built-in method called getType. So if you call getType and you write the name of the variable within the parentheses, it returns the data type of the variable. So here, mortgage rate equals to 0.0575. If somebody calls an echo and then type getType and gives the name of the variable, it will return the data type. In this case, it will be double. So that's how you can see the data type of the variable. Also, is double will return true or false. If it returns true, then this will be displayed. Otherwise, this will be displayed. So is double is a built-in function to check to see if the value is double or not. Similarly, we have a built-in function is int to check to see if the value is integer or not. You guys already know the operators by precedence and associativity. Precedence means in a given expression, if you have multiple operators, which operator takes precedence? Whereas the associativity is when you have multiple operators in the same line and they are all the same value. Like if you have like addition and subtraction and you have multiple addition and subtraction happening at the same time on the same instruction, it just simply goes from left to right. So this basically talks about that the highest operator here is a new clone, which is new object, highest precedence. And then you have the array elements, and you have increment, decrement, and then you have your casting, and then you have your suppressed error. So these are the precedents for these operators. Moving on to table 1-9, which shows you other sets of precedences here. And you can see the symbols, their operator, and their if it allows associativity. Okay, so that's another figure for you to look at. Okay, look at this example here. The value of x is 3, the value of y is 2. Okay, what is going on here? Can anybody try explaining as to what's going on in the very last line?
So first, x is being incremented by 1, which makes it 4. And then y is being multiplied by x and assigned to y. So that's 2 times 8, which is 8. And then x is being assigned to y.
So x and y, they both will be 8 by the end of the process?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Yep. So basically, for everybody else, First, we are incrementing the value of x. The x is currently 3, will become 4. Y multiply equals to 4 means that you take the current value of y, which is 2, you times it by 4, which is 8. You sort that into a y. So y is 8. And whatever is y, x is the same thing. So x is also 8 at the end of the process. Okay. Now go ahead and read the chapter summary or summing up on page number 63 and 64. And I think it goes all the way through the top of 65. Let me know when you guys are done with this. I will next divide you guys in groups, where I will ask you that within your group, you look at the end of the chapter, multiple choice questions, and write down the answers for these multiple choice questions. There are 20 of them from pages 66 through 68. And then we will meet back in like 15 minutes, and then we will see what answers you or your group came up with. So let
A.
what did you say?
A.
A. For question number 1, the answer is A. What did you pick for question number 2?
B.
B. Okay. What did you pick for question number 3?
I had C or D.
C and D, because it says choose all that apply. So multiple answers, C and D. Okay. What do you pick for number 4?
A.
A. Number 5?
C.
C. Number 6?
True.
You're not required to initialize a variable when you first declare it in PHP. Well, there is no variable declaration in PHP. The only way to declare a variable is to initialize it. So the answer is false. Number 7?
A.
A. Number 8 is more like a descriptive answer. So go ahead, whoever wants to describe that, number 8. Nobody wants to go? Come on, data type is a specific category of information in a variable, right? So you basically select the data types that you can store a value of appropriate type in a variable. That's it. And so it tells the system how much memory the system needs to allocate. Anyway, number 9.
Null is used to make sure that the variable doesn't contain any value.
It doesn't contain a usable value, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 10.
A.
A. Number 11.
A.
A. Okay. I'm waiting for my page to load. Okay, number 12.
A and B.
A and B, because it's choose all that apply. Okay. Number 13.
A.
A. Number 14.
D.
Which letter did you say?
D
D.
as
D
in dog.
Yeah. Okay. Number 15.
A.
A. Number 16.
A. B.
A, B. Number 17.
C.
B. C. The logical AND operator returns true if the left operand and the right operand, they both are true. They both have to be true for and to be true. Number 18,
B,
B. Number 19,
B,
B. And number 20,
C,
say it again, Victor.
C,
C, yes. Coincidentally, C is also 20, and the question number is also 20. Anyway, guys, let's take a break here till 7:35. And let's resume at 7:35 with the remaining items. So I'll see you guys at 7:35. Can you give space in the name of the PHP file?
I'm pretty sure no, you have to use an underscore.
You can't, right? So notice if I say variables, space, and it just says name is illegal. Okay, so it doesn't allow for the spaces in the name. So it wants everything to be treated as one long word. Now that I'm here inside the PHP, traditionally we want to set up our page like an HTML page. So that's why I have my PHP file from the other day, which I'll just grab and copy and paste right here. And then I can have my closing tags also copy and pasted from the other day. And here I have. Okay. So there are a few things I want to tell you guys about PHP variable naming convention. So number one, when you're naming your PHP variables, after the $, what must be the first letter in the first placeholder?
It can just be any letter, right?
And
Any capital letter? I don't know.
no, that's inclusive. I think lowercase, uppercase. By convention, you will not use an uppercase letter, but it could be any letter. And can it be a number?
no,
No. So what else besides letters?
Special characters?
Which one?
the $.
No, $sign is already there, besides $sign. So $sign is only in the first placeholder. I'm
An
talking,
asterisk?
no,
Exclamation point?
no. Do you guys know him? Who knows this guy?
The Undertaker.
Underscore?
Thank you. Got it, man. Underscore. That was the whole point of showing you guys Undertaker.
Oscar got it. In the chat.
Underscore, yay. So underscore and any character. And after that point is pretty much, alphanumeric characters, underscore, whatever. Spaces are not allowed. Camel casing is preferred. how many data types are supported by PHP? So I would like everybody to put some kind of a number in the chat. What do you think? How many data types are supported by PHP? Or I should say, how many primitive types are supported by PHP? Let's put it that way. So everybody just put some number down in the chat. Let's see who gets it right. Okay. Cole, okay. Mhm. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 answers so far. Out of 10 of you, 7. Okay, who are the 3 people left? Okay. 2 more to go. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, who did not put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? I got 9 answers. We are missing Jack Clothier. No, sorry, Jack Lear. Jack Lear didn't give me the answer, right? So the correct answer is 10. So these 10 types are actually divided into 3 sections. 4 of these 10 are scalar types. And the other 4 are called the compound types. And there are 2 of them which are special types. Okay. What are the scalar types? The scalar types are Boolean, integer, float, which is inclusive of double, and string. And the compound types are array, object, callable, and iterable. And the special types are resource and null. You may find some pseudo types like mix, number, and void as well, but typically this is how we divide the types. Do you guys remember from last week how we declare constants in PHP? How we declare constants in PHP?
Define.
Define, right? So we write define and we write the name of the constant such as, for example, program and ITSD. Or can I have numbered constants as well? How will you display a constant? So echo program name constant program. So that's how typically you will display the value of a constant. Try it, and then I'll make some variations and see if you can get the same output. Everybody got this working? What will happen if I lowercase the m for program? What do you think will happen? Will it fail?
Yeah, because they're case sensitive, right?
Yep, very good. However, if I add a third parameter true, then they won't fail because the third parameter true makes the name case insensitive. Okay. What do you guys think that value represents that I just wrote on line number 30?
Scientific notation, it's 1,560,000.
Yep. Okay, because that E6 means it's 6 digits to the right of 1. So 2 are already there. I'm going to add 4 more zeros, and that's what it is, 1.56 million. Now let's see if I have a value that is in scientific notation and another value that is not in scientific notation. And can I add them? And the answer will be, yep, you can add them together. And the final answer will be a number. Let me add one more variable, rev number 3 to it, which will be float val. Okay, float val. And this will be a number like this, which is basically a string that I'm converting to an equivalent float value. And let's add this to the mix. And you tell me if your output before Ref2, before Ref3 and Ref2 are different or not.
I got a parse error on my output on line 25.
On line number 25. Oh, okay. 1 second. I mean, like, let's have a look at run as, run on server. Should be fine. I don't know. Check again. Still checking, or you fixed it?
No, it says that where I have Rev 1 on your line 30,
Mm-hmm.
it's saying that it's wrong. Multiple annotations found at this line.
Where I have my rev 1.56 E6, that one, right?
Yeah,
Did you leave any space around the letter E?
no, I didn't.
Do you have a semicolon on the line above towards the end?
Oh, perfect.
Okay. Now try this. Instead of 7844 like that, it's like is the revenue amount from source 3. Save the changes. And after you make that change, refresh your output. What happened? Did it fail or was it a success?
It was a success.
It was a success. Well, it's probably the same output as before. No difference. Because the rest of it will be ignored. Okay, let's try one more thing here. Let me create a variable called rev four equals to something like this. Okay. And then see. So line number 34, since ref 4 is actually a number, right? But since I put the variable within double quotes, ref str will receive 949494 as a string value. So rev str will be treated as a string, and that's why I did the variable dump so that you can see its data type. Okay, now let's work with a Boolean variable flag equals to false. Amount equals to 34. Flag amount equals to amount times flag. Do you guys think that line 40 will be an error?
No,
No. Why not? Because flag is Boolean and amount is a number. Can you multiply a Boolean and a number?
I think it'll take the flag as just a 1.
Flag is false, so flag will be considered to be
Oh,
zero.
a 0, yeah.
Yeah. So now let's do a variable dump on flag amount. And when we refresh that, you'll see that's integer 0. Okay. Once you are done running this one, try changing the false to a true and save and refresh your output. Everybody got this working? Okay. Number equals to 81. And number 2 equals to 81.5. Echo square root of number 1 and sorry, number, not number 1, and square root of number 2. Square root is a built-in function in PHP to calculate the square root. Okay, hopefully everybody's done with this one. Okay. Now, this is what you see over here on my screen, a problem. Write a PHP program to solve a value for a quadratic equation. Oops. I don't know why I send in a picture like that. Okay. So let me paste in the chat this quadratic equation so that you have a picture of that on your end. Okay, so you should receive it in the chat, the quadratic equation. Everybody is familiar with this equation? Okay. I will be breaking you guys in the 4 groups. So there will be, in fact, you know what? Let me do that instead of breaking you into 4 groups. Let me break you into 5 groups. So it's going to be group of, each group will have 2 members. So what you will do is you will solve this problem. And you have to make sure that you write your equations correctly. You will hard code ABC with values because you have not yet learned how to accept an input from user. So you will hard code the values, and you got to make sure that the values you hard code them with do produce a valid output. Your program should not fail during runtime. And you will produce 2 values of X. The other details, I will let you figure it out in your group. So you have 15 minutes to do this problem. I'm opening the rooms now. Okay, so we looked at a quadratic equation where we declare the variables, assign them values, plug it into the equation, solved an equation where we looked at the order of operation or PEMDAS, and the values were calculated. We were able to use a built-in function called sqrt for square root. Then in this example, we used a round method, which is a built-in function, which allows you to pass a number to it, and you can completely round it to the nearest whole number, or you can round it by the decimal places, okay? Now, let's declare another variable here called number 2. I'm going to make it a -67. So we got a number 2 here. And for the number 2, we will call a function called ABS. ABS. Do you guys know what is ABS?
Absolute value.
Okay, and what is an absolute value?
The distance the number is from 0.
Very good. And the distance the number is from 0 is an unsigned number. Okay. Now let's get to another item here. Number 3 equals to empty underscore random number between 0 and 100. So this, every time I refresh, the last output will generate a random number. So random numbers are generated on an on a formula on a function with a min and a max value. Okay, got it? Awesome. If you want to generate a number with between a negative and a positive range, you can also do that. If I say I want to generate a number between -100 and a +100, you know, you can also, if you refresh, you probably may get sometimes a negative number, sometimes a positive number. So you can actually give it that kind of range as well. Okay. Now let's move on to creating a form. So we'll create an HTML file. So we're going to right click on the project. And let me go to other. And in the other, let me go to web and HTML file. Okay.
What did you do again?
I right click on the project. I went to new. I clicked on other. And then I went down in the list and opened web and I clicked on HTML file. And then I clicked next. And
I
then
don't have a, sorry,
Mhm.
I don't have a web folder. I have other.
Yeah, it should be under other.
It should be in the, so based on your application or your version of Eclipse, can you see an HTML file is my question.
Yeah.
That, I mean, like, it doesn't matter how far deep it is, as long as you can find an HTML file. So we would like to call this HTML file our form1.html. What are the two required attribute of an HTML form element? Especially when you are communicating with server.
Don't you need the sizes or the size of the form?
Mm-mm,
ID.
mm-mm. Nope.
Action is one of them, but
Action is one of them. And what does the action do? This is the page to which it will be submitted. And the other one is the method. So you'll be submitting it through the post method. Okay. Name. Input. Type equals to text. Name equals to full name. Size, let's say 30 characters. Another paragraph. Title. Select. The name of this is title. And it's a drop-down box, so I'm just putting in some titles. So we got a submit button and a reset button. Let me know when you guys are done with this form. So as soon as I see all the green checks, then we will move on to our next page. So I'm waiting for Francisco and Jack and Thomas. Okay. Victor and Thomas. And for those of you who are done, I want you to check this. So try to run this on the server. Don't try to run it on the client, because eventually we want this HTML page to talk to a server page. So in order for that to happen, the HTML page must also be running on the server. So you got to run it as on server. For those of you who are done coding this, just to make sure that you can see the form coming up just like that. And notice that it's running on the server. And for the rest of you, Tom and Victor, I'm going to just wait till Tom and Victor give me a thumbs up. Okay, Tom got it. Okay. Victor, are you code? Oh, you got code. You're done coding. Okay. Now let's create our next page called PHP form1.php. So instead of having to create a blank page, I will just take my numbers.php, which I was just working with, and I will save it as PHP form1.php. You got to be careful here. That's why, you know what I did? Instead of having to type, I just copied the way I wrote it here. I just copied this. And I went to numbers.php and I saved it as by pasting the name over. So I don't have to worry about the case sensitivity issue, you know, my F is lowercase, the F is uppercase, none of that stuff. because the names are case sensitive. That's why I got to be careful about that stuff. Okay. Now, once I did this, I'm now
I'm
down.
sorry, how,
Say again?
I'm sorry, how did you do that? Or,
I basically copied the file name as it is from my HTML so that I don't have to worry about my case not matching, fat fingers, I misspelled a word and nothing is working. So just to avoid all of that, I just copied the name and I went to numbers.php. And the numbers.php, I went to file save as, and I called numbers.php PHP form 1.php. I just saved as my existing PHP page with this new name. Let's see why it's not working for me. Let me try. File, save as. Here it is. No. Yeah, PHP form 1, PHP. Here it is. Okay. Now, here I am deleting everything in the PHP area. And now I need to learn how I can get the values from the PHP page from the HTML page into my PHP page. So I'll be using a couple of variables. One will be to hold the name, and the other one will be to hold the job. PHP has a built-in object called post. So it's $_post. It's rather an array. Let me put it this way. It's an array. So to the first post, I will say, I want you to look for an item by the name of full name, because that's what I call my HTML form element full name. So I'm asking my PHP to look for somebody called full name, and I want you to grab its value and give it over to the name variable. Okay. Very similarly, I'm asking the post to now look for another element by the name of title. And I want to grab its value. So on $_post is how you transfer over the values. Now I'll be displaying my output. Thank you for registering so-and-so. Your current job title stored in our system is this. So once you're done with this, you go back to your form, the running form that you have in the browser. You put somebody's name there, and then you choose their title, and then you hit submit data. So it will go to the PHP page, and here you can see, thank you for registering Sam Groy. Your current job title is COO. So we were able to successfully pass the data from the HTML form over to the PHP page, and was able to display the data. So I want you guys, when you are done with your PHP page, to type the data in the form, hit the submit button, and let me know when. I mean, like, you should be able to, you should receive the data on the other end on the PHP page. Okay, now I want everybody to check this week's homework assignment, look at the two problems, and let me know if you have any questions about this week's homework assignment.
I'm not sure about how to do question 1.
You're basically displaying asterisks spaced out in echo statements, so that when you are done with multiple echo statements on the screen, it should display your name in letters, in asterisks. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to do it.
Well, that's the homework assignment. You have to figure out how to do it. But that's
Old fashioned ASCII art.
yes, old-fashioned ASCII art. Yep, you gotta space it out just right to be able to get the output correct. Okay. If
I'm
you
sure
do,
it's somewhere in the book, huh?
no, come on, this is the intro to programming kind of an assignment, man. So easy. You just gotta space asterisks out so that when you run it, it should display your name on it. I give this assignment in intro to programming week 1. Yeah, to the first semester students.
I can't even remember the last when I took intro to programming.
I'm just trying to tell you the level of complexity of this assignment is so low that this is week 1, semester 1 students assignment. So this should be a piece of cake for about to graduate students. And then you also have a homework quiz to work on. So those are the couple of items that you need to work on. Here's my Blackboard. So under Unit 2, you have a quiz and an assignment. Okay, so that's all for tonight, guys.